Hey everybody, Midnight's Edge After Dark. In the earliest, it's not after dark. It's the longest night of the year. All right.
Oh, it is. I didn't even realize that.
Yay, it's finally fucking summer.
It is
Yay.
summer. It is the first day of summer. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's about time.
First day of summer. Days get shorter, but hey, let's enjoy them while we got them. I'm, of course, your narrator, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo. With me as always, Mr. Tom Connors.
Good evening, afternoon, good night, good morning, whatever it is where you're at.
And with us is the Mistress of Mayhem, Miss Mary Mayhem.
Well, howdy, guys.
Yes. Yes, dear. And with us always, she's understandably. Oh, there she is.
It's Casual Friday.
Yes, your favorite YouTube Harpy. It's time for your summer spankings. Your favorite YouTube Harpy, the Ninja Viking Warrior Mistress. Yeah, I don't know how many more titles she has.
Award-winning chef.
Yes.
Demon Angel Alien.
Demon Angel Alien, yes. Miss Megaranda.
LGBT. You forgot
LGBT.
Queen Goddess.
Yes,
Queen
Geek
Goddess.
Goddess.
Queen Goddess, internet sex symbol.
Usually.
Do we really? Yeah, we. I think who would you qualify as a sex symbol these days? Probably not a whole lot of people.
Tilly.
Well, most women don't want to be anymore, and all men want to be, but it's not a lot.
How dare you objectify me? How dare you? I am not a sex symbol.
Fine, I won't fuck you then. How about that? Get out of my movies then if I'm not allowed to objectify you.
Like I said, the people who always say, I want to see myself represented on screen are usually too ugly to flex. So,
Usually.
Usually.
And there goes our monetization. So.
Fair enough.
All right, let's jump into this. Okay, what's our first? What do we want to do as the first story?
They are
in
the correct order this time.
All right, from top to bottom.
Yes, sir. That's what she said.
Phrasing. Yes, phrasing. Oh, all right. Okay. Now, remember we were saying about that Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
It got everybody excited about. Why are you laughing?
Because I know what it is.
I know what it is too, and I told everybody don't get your hopes up. It's not Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. They're not doing this as a comic.
Sorry.
And as Abed said in Community, it represents a lack of payoff. J.J. Abrams and his son are writing a new Spider-Man miniseries for Marvel Comics. How anticlimactic is that news?
That's what she said.
See, that's okay. People only buy the first issue anyway because all they want is a number one.
Yeah,
so they don't have to finish it.
JJ and JR.
Ugh.
Well, Henry.
I don't give a shit. It's JJ and JR. AJ Jr.
Talk about a kid who's born on third base.
Right?
I think it's more so.
How silver was that spoon?
Platinum.
Remember South Park? I wasn't the one born with a silver N up my ass. All right, let's go through this.
Did
What was that, Mary?
Did you feel a little trolled over that though?
A little.
That's a little. CB Cebulski deliberately built up everybody's expectations.
Just to let them down.
It's typical of JJ. That's why I titled it what I did, because I was like, and
that's why I used that picture of Abed from Community, because that's exactly what it says. It represents lack of payoff.
That's what I wonder if he does that in all aspects of his life.
Probably.
Well, he does have at least one kid that we know of, so it can't be completely true.
No, he just failed at pulling out.
Taken care of. I'm just saying, JJ, get
No, he
your
just-
shit together.
He just didn't follow through with pulling out. That's all.
Here, wait, you ladies aren't even thinking about it from the correct aspect, considering you are ladies. He may have finished, but that doesn't mean she.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Sorry, I had to go there. Okay,
Yeah.
back to the story.
No, you're not wrong.
I'm sorry. Everybody is so completely let down by JJ Abrams.
Oh yeah, always.
all the time. Oh, sorry.
Okay. The big day has finally come, phrasing, and Marvel has revealed their big Spider-Man announcement. Spider-Man. As reported first by the New York Times, versatile artist J.J. Abrams, you're sticking to that,
Versatile.
has teamed up with his 20-year-old son, Henry, for a 5-part Spider-Man miniseries, which will arrive this coming September, phrasing. A new villain called Cadaverous. Okay, the only reason why there's a new villain is so that he can have a piece of the sale.
Well, that's the same thing with BB-8. You know,
Yeah.
he needed the new droid so he could have the merchandise sales. He's a smart guy. He's just shit.
Can I please just say FBB-8? I really hate that droid.
Oh, he's adorable. I love him.
I hate that little usurper.
Oh, he's so cute.
He's a usurper of cuteness. R2 is here first.
Oh, R2 is adorable, but I see it as R2 is like Garfield and BB-8 is like Normal. And I really love Normal. I really love Normal.
Normal was getting his ass handed to him by Garfield.
Yeah. He's so cute.
I'm Normal, the world's cutest kitten.
That's
Kit
Kat.
Comics.
Yeah, fuck right off.
So we're gonna get a mini series out of this. Who gives a fucking rat's ass? Why count down from 4 days like that? That was pointless.
It's because it's all he got to do.
It's not even it's just a comic book, right?
Yeah, it's a comic book.
Yeah. Who the hell reads comic books anymore with the way they've been making them lately? Like,
Well, anyway, let's continue on. A new villain called Cadaverous will make his debut, causing problems for a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and his beloved Mary Jane Watson. The comic will be drawn by Sarah Pichelli and colored by Dave Stewart. Now, is this the same Dave Stewart as a YouTube channel?
I don't know.
I do not know.
Okay, well, anyways, if you haven't seen his YouTube channel, he's got a really good he's got a really good channel. He's very astute. So anyway, continuing. In the interview with Abrams and Son in the Times, the acclaimed filmmaker spoke about Sarah Pichelli's artwork, comparing it to Maz Kanata's castle from Star Wars. Thank you, Mr. Motorcycle. We equate the experience a bit like working on a movie. J.J. Abrams said, "You have an idea for what Maz Kanata's castle will look like. It's theory for months and months, and then you go through phases and design. Then one day you walk onto the set, and you're standing there. You might not be shooting, but you're just standing there on set. And to get Sarah's artwork, the black and white early renderings to get what is the Night of the Loud Exhausts? What's going on?
Hell's Angels are out in there after you, Rob.
Anyway, it's weird because you're suddenly looking at a brilliant artist's interpretation of work that you've been talking about for a long time. The announcement may have caught some of the Web Slingers fans by surprise, as many thought Marvel's big announcement would be a comic adaptation of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 concept. What do you think about the upcoming new Spider-Man miniseries? I don't. Let us know in the comments. I will. Okay. Let me run through some of the concepts. I hope the story is better than the artwork because the cover artwork is horrid. Should be embarrassed. Who is the villain in the background? It looks like Emperor Palpatine. Let me see. Where would he be except for nepotism? We all
Will we get a copyright strike claim if we play this stupid thing?
Yeah, you probably would. So just
probably not actually, because that's on Twitter.
I did the Bill and Ted one, and I let it go just because it was Bill and Ted.
Well, if it's on social media, then it's probably fair game.
It should be, but it's not. So
it's in an article though. They're using it in a news article. Though.
They did in the Bill and Ted one too, and they still claimed it. But yeah.
Okay. Well. Just do we have a transcript? So
just make it transformative and talk over it.
I know what to do. I know
so that maybe we can just.
We don't need a transcript. Just be quiet. for a second. I'll just play the audio. Fuck the video.
Mhm.
See?
Well, play yakety sax over it. So
Hi, I'm
Let me
JJ. I'm Henry. Henry's very nervous.
I am so nervous right now.
Here's the thing. We have written a
Dork.
Spider-Man comic book.
It's coming out in September. It's a limited series.
He sounds just like a
Kara
dad.
Shelley, the wonderful artist,
Dork.
comes with us.
why don't we-
Incredible.
And we're really excited. There's a crazy new villain named Cadaverous that we can't wait for you to meet. But in September, Marvel, talking to them for a long time about this, so very excited to be doing it, and especially to be doing it with this.
It's so exciting. I can't believe it's happening.
Pause a sec.
Why? Thanks.
Oh,
Because they're
Yeah.
good. They're great.
see you soon. Bye.
There's only like, yeah, I was gonna say it's almost done.
Okay. Okay, well, we can't believe this is happening. Neither can we. So that's
Hey, here's a comic book nobody asked for, or cared about, or wanted from
Nice.
people who can't make
But
movies
we're
well.
talking about it. That's what you don't understand, or well, you do understand. But now that
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're talking about it now, so they can show their parrot analytics that it's really trending and it's the best thing ever because you
Oh.
had a whole 200 tweets about it.
yeah, a lot of freaking.
There's more
Yeah.
tweets about the fandom menace than there are Star Trek today. I've noticed. I
Right.
hashtagged something the fandom menace and it was like 300, and Star Trek was like 30.
I am cadaverous.
Parrot analytics.
The dark side of the force, Peter.
Is there?
It's like
is
how
there-
much of that was just to I wonder how much of that was just to sell a book, just to kind of set up his son as, into like some wealth of his own for creating a villain and with the merchandising rights or the
It's to give his son some kind of credits so he
Yeah.
can take and go somewhere else. Actually, we got a $5 super chat from Chris Persia, $5 Canadians. Daddy, I want to write my own comic. Do something about this. Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, can I write my own comic book?
No, son. No, son. You don't get to write your own comic book, but you could direct the movie.
I don't want to, Daddy. I want to write a comic book, and I want to write Spider-Man, and I want to do it now.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. I'm pretty good with the guys at
I
Marvel.
want
Besides,
to do a novel. I want to do it now, like you, Daddy, like you ruin everything. I want it now.
I want the whole world. I want to wrap it all up in my pocket.
Spidey and Vulture, cadaverous vultures. Give it to me. Give it to me now.
That worked. And if you want to see more singing, or hear more singing, that is,
You sound like James Corden.
then check out Marioki on Mary's channel every other Saturday night.
Well,
Yes.
we may be moving it up to every Saturday. We'll see. I'm a fickle woman.
Because Rob sings like an angel.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And Matt is like one.
I just sing Rocky Erickson songs and shit.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, I'm bored with this
The
story.
Batman sends us a £5 super chat.
Do I have to read? Do I have to read like the Batman?
Yes. Well, he's British
Do
too.
your, do your
Well, no. I do my
Kinda.
Kevin Conroy.
The Batman, £5 super chat. Doesn't Dark doesn't. I can't read this one.
cut. Do it again, Patsy.
The Batman, £5 super chat. Dark, doesn't Cadavers sound like the clone of Miles Warren called Carrion?
I don't know.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he
Walks
does.
in midnight.
Just do the rest of the stream like that. Just do the rest of the stream like that.
Do the rest of the stream with Batman.
Well, we beat this to death, or Mary, did you have anything to add to this? Because it seemed like you were laughing your ass off at the beginning.
I
Of this
just think it's hilarious that they built this thing up to be this giant ordeal, right? Everybody gets super excited, and then just like he always does, J.J. Abrams can't pull it off. It just
He
can't.
pulls the rug out from under us, yeah, kind of.
I was
Nobody had
That's why I didn't get excited about it. Like, who cares? It's probably something stupid anyway.
I told people, it says don't get your hopes up.
And it was said comics too. It was like Marvel Comics. It wasn't like Marvel.
We all knew it was that was the thing, though. But a lot of people have wanted to see some sort of adaptation of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 script for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
And Alex Ross, fucker, made everybody think that that's what we were getting. Because I seen a screenshot of that tweet I was talking about. I was not crazy, but all it was I didn't even realize it till after I seen it again. It's just one of his paintings from, what was it, Spider-Man 3, I think it was, where they had all the paintings in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, that Alex Ross did. But anyway, moving on.
All right. Well,
how many people in here loved Halloween? The 2018, is that what we're calling it now?
I am not now, nor have I ever done.
Was it 2018?
What was that, Mary?
It was it was last year.
Mary doesn't do horror movies.
Oh, that's right. They make her puke.
Well, this one wasn't very good. I wouldn't. It was all right, but
it's of a good movie.
Yeah, it's like it has potential, but then it just shits the bed.
Well, yeah, that twist really killed it for me. But anyway, there is news. We've got not very. I wouldn't call it
confirmation, but is it confirmation?
But, it's confirmation, I guess.
Okay.
Halloween 2 eyes an October 2020 release with Jamie Lee Curtis and David Gordon Green returning. Tell us all about it, Rob.
Well, we have. I have a sound for this. We have incoming news. Ready?
Message for you, son.
So, okay. All right. How?
I like that movie.
Yes, so do I. Halloween 2 eyes October 2020 release with Jamie Lee Curtis and David Gordon Green returning. David Gordon Green wrote the script for Halloween 2. After Jason Blum, is it Blum or Blum?
I think it's Blum because I think it's Blumhouse.
Okay. After Jason Blum, Jason, if you're out there, please let us know. Okay.
Actually, we'd love to talk to him.
Yeah, I would say Blumhouse, so I don't know.
That's what I used to, but everybody corrected me. So,
well, after Jason, last name pronunciation pending, teased earlier this month that he was discussing stuff with Jamie Lee Curtis. Collider now reports that a sequel to the duo's 2018 Halloween reboot is gearing up for a September film shoot. Multiple sources tell Collider a production start date. Multiple sources tell Collider a production start is set for just after Labor Day holiday. My mouth works faster than my brain sometimes. Universal already has an untitled Blumhouse horror movie scheduled for October 16, 2020. That will most likely be Halloween 2. Many of the talents involved with the successful Halloween reboot are expected to return. Most importantly, Jamie Lee Curtis as the franchise's protagonist, Laurie Strode. Cast members, Judy Greer. Oh, Judy Greer, yeah. Judy Greer.
You're not my supervisor!
we like. She was good in it. Her daughter was like one of the worst parts. She was just forgetful.
Yeah, Judy Greer was good. It should have just been her and Jamie Lee Curtis.
I agree.
And Andy Matichak are expected to reprise their roles as Laurie's daughter and granddaughter, respectively. David Gordon Green wrote the script for Halloween 2 and is being eyed to return to the director's chair. Universal and Blumhouse's Halloween reboot opened last October to $76.2 million, the highest opening in the horror franchise's history and the second biggest October start on record.
Well, not only that, we need... Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Okay. No, go ahead.
So it needs to be pointed out here, this movie made more than the entire franchise had to this point altogether.
Yeah. Oh, it was very successful. It was packed when I tried.
So I'm not surprised. This is like the most non-news of the month, but it's big enough news for fans, and I hope they fix some of the issues they had in the last movie.
What was the budget on the last movie?
I think it was only like 10, 15 million, or was it more? No, it was more than that. What was it?
It could not have been more than like 9 million, right?
No, it was more than that. They had
look into that, and let me continue on with this. And
Go ahead. I'm trying to get out of my thing here.
The film ended its run with $159 million in the U.S. and $255 million globally. The freaks are out tonight. Jeez, what's going on in my neighborhood? On a budget. Oh, here it's on a budget of $10 million.
Oh, I was right. Okay, I thought it was more than that, but they probably spent 3 or 4 times or better than that on the advertising, I bet.
Well, they always say take the budget and double it for advertising.
Yeah, but the amount of advertising they did for that movie was insane.
Yeah.
Well, even if they spent $40 million, they still got
On the
off to
advertising, it's still like 50 million. They made it back. No, that's what I'm trying to say is this movie was extremely profitable, and Jamie Lee probably got so much of that on kickback. I guaranteed she made more money off this last movie than she's made off of anything in her entire life.
Okay, well, most importantly, the film got critics and fans back on the franchise's good side after a series of poorly reviewed sequels. And for more on that, check out the Midnight Edge videos on Halloween. The 2018 Halloween movie served as a direct sequel to John Carpenter's 1978 original. Carpenter is expected to return as producer of the 2020 sequel alongside Blumhouse's Cooper Samuelson, Green, and Danny McBride. The latter co-wrote and produced the reboot. As far as the Halloween 2 plot is concerned, neither Blumhouse nor Universal is saying anything about where the franchise goes next. The reboot ended with the Strode family seemingly prevailing over Michael Myers by trapping him in the basement of their home and setting the place on fire. The movie ended with a shot of the burnt basement, Michael's body nowhere to be found. Post-credits scene included Michael breathing, confirming the character survived the events of the film. IndieWire has reached out to Blumhouse for further comment. And there's actually a tweet of Jamie Lee Curtis and Jason Blum or Blum, and saying we're discussing stuff. And Jamie's holding a Halloween box set, I believe, or something. What is that? What is she holding?
Yeah, I gotta reopen it. I closed it.
I think I must have missed the post-credit scene. I don't remember seeing the
that's her
post-credit.
figure from the
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
shit, that's clear back in June though. So yeah, this is most likely what it is. I'm not surprised. This is not not necessarily a confirmation, but I'd put money on it.
Yeah.
Wasn't she married to Christopher Guest for a while?
Still is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. But you don't hear peep out of those two. So
yeah, like I think we brought this up a while back. We're like, yeah, they're like one of the few couples in Hollywood that actually lasted forever like this. Like, you know, other than like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, basically.
Okay. Well, I've got too much more to say about this, but okay, people
Yeah, we
enjoy
can move on.
Yeah, you're gonna have another Halloween movie, so great. I mean, we all need stuff. And the other thing too about this is just to close this out, it proves you can make a movie on the cheap and have it be profitable.
Well, not only that, this follows for the most part, the Cobra Kai formula. Again, my issues with the movie, some people didn't have those issues. A lot of people loved it. My main issue was the stupid little twist near the end with the doctor. And like I said in my review, I would have made it to where Lori realizes that Michael don't give two shits about her and that she spent her whole life preparing for nothing and turning her into like the Sarah Connor role almost, where she turns around and is like, all right, well, fuck her. Not the Sarah Connor role, but she's in the Sarah Connor role. I'm trying to say it's the Dr. Loomis role, to where she's like, all right, I'm going after this fucker then, since I know more about him than anybody. And it would kind of almost been a callback to her saying, oh, this guy's the new doctor or whatever, and then him getting killed, whatever. But no, and at least you didn't need her having a granddaughter either. That was just extraneous. And not only that, the other babysitter with the little kid was more entertaining.
More interesting, yeah. And my only problem with it is it's modern horror, and they get really, really brutal instead of funny. I hate brutal. Like if I'm looking away from a horror movie, then you're not giving me what I want.
But they turned Michael Myers into Jason. Michael, even if you're since this is supposed to be a sequel to the original movie, Michael was not that powerful. Michael only killed 3 people, and it wasn't that gruesome. Yeah.
All right. Like I said, it's a low budget movie. Like I said, showing Hollywood, you can make a low budget
actually for 25.
No, I think that they needed to do that for modern audiences, though, because if they gave us what we got, in the first movie, I don't think people would like it. I think it'd be too boring for people.
Speaking of budget for horror movies, I noticed that they did not release the budget for Child's Play.
No. I think they had to reshoot it. I believe they did have to reshoot it.
Well, they are promoting the ever loving shit out of this.
Yeah.
They keep retweeting reviews, quote unquote, or reactions, whatever you want to call it. And the way some of these quote unquote reactions are worded, that's not like a typical person word shit. Normal people don't say it's my favorite studio movie of the year.
My favorite studio movie of the year. Who said
Yes,
that?
that was one of them that really stuck out to me. And there's a lot of them that have a lot of that lingo where they made sure to touch on certain things. And frankly,
like the Discovery reviews we get.
Yes.
Yeah, or Captain Marvel reviews, like the fake ones on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You could go to Rotten Tomatoes and see the actual verified audience reviews. So
it's getting meh. See, that's the thing. The audience, I think, was last I looked, it was like at 67, I think, for the audience, but it's getting 63 from critics. And I even already saw a article about how it's getting positive. You know, it's because it's certified fresh, barely.
Barely.
You know, there's already, articles about it everywhere. It's like, oh, so MGM must be pushing the. And okay, okay, this again, rumor, speculatory shit, whatever. I've heard birdies tell me, and I've even had to run-ins with them, that there's a lot of MGM folks out there pushing this shit out of this.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm not covering it on my channel, because A, they claim everything. Sorry. But no, like they claim everything, and B, I don't want their little assholes on my channel. I don't want to watch the movie. I don't want a Child's Play remake or reboot or any of that. And I haven't really been covering it. I've been lumping into it with other stuff. Mm-hmm. Like they went out of their way to copyright claim me on a video where I didn't even use footage. So I'm like, I don't even want to talk about their stupid. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. Like screw their movie. It doesn't even look that good anyway, so I'm not going to give them any.
It usually with the still images, they'll let it go. But anyway, not always. Not always.
Oh yeah, they did with this one. They did this one.
But anyhow, no, I haven't seen it yet. Andre hasn't been able to see it, so I guess it's not a pressing matter. I did kind of want to see Toy Story 4, but not that bad, so I haven't really gone anywhere yet this weekend. So yeah, let's move on to the next deal. Did everybody get to vote? Did you vote? Did you go out and vote?
For Orville, yes. For Orville, yes.
For the Orville, yes. For the Orville, of course. That's what I meant. What did you think I meant?
I don't know. I don't vote otherwise, so that's the only thing I would vote on.
Well, we have. I don't know if the polling
done now. I think it's done. Okay. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Well, anyway, we have.
Is it done? I think you can still vote.
I think you might be able to still vote, but we have an update actually.
A little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the proper sound effect for this. We have an update as far as the polling goes. In a landslide, the Orville.
No shit.
Yeah, you must be able to still vote because Discovery went up by a few too, barely.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
sorry.
The Orville 1,161 to Discovery's 300. Yeah, and there was much rejoicing.
Yay!
Okay.
Like, are we really surprised by that? Are we really surprised that they're not paying the people? They're only paying them to get on Twitter and in the comment sections. They're not paying them to go and vote on IMDb.
Well, STD must have a little jump, so they must have shared it somewhere on a STD site.
Yeah. They exist. See, that's the thing. I didn't even know they existed because I don't care what positive STD sites have to say.
Maybe certain YouTubers are driving them toward it.
I don't know. I don't care if they are because I don't. Here's the thing. I don't watch the positive reviews of STD because I don't care what positive reviews say. I don't seek out their channels. I'm not going to go harass them and bully them or bitch them out, for giving them a positive review. And that's kind of the point I want to drive home with a lot of this is that, we're out there sharing for both sides. Like if people do actually genuinely like Discovery, then yeah, go vote for it. Great.
Oh, hold on. We just a little thing. We just got a tweet from somebody on regarding the JJ comic. Wait until you see all the lens flare in every panel.
Right? Mystery box of nothing that doesn't make sense.
Box. Mystery box.
Ugh.
Big old turd in the mystery box.
See, I can do without it. Just let me know what I'm getting. I'd rather pay a little bit more or a little bit less and know what I'm getting. And it'll be the same old, but at least it'll be something I expect.
Oh, what is okay? Wait a minute here. Matt
We-
is in the chat. He says, "Oh, please let Disney sue MGM." Why would Disney sue MGM? What's going on?
Why would Disney even sue MGM? Yeah, Matt. You mean
Out of existence, but yeah.
lens flares, hollow panels with nothing but exposition dumps and page to page. Well, lens flares are kind of scenes affair. That's kind of that's nothing. That's really
I'm sure if anybody trademarked it, it was JJ.
Yeah, but that's nothing that's really identifiable with Star Trek, though. At least.
Okay, he's just joking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how was I to know you were joking?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, what the hell's going down? Yeah.
All right. Well, we got another story to get to here. So
one more, and I think you had like one or two you might wanted to bring up. But
yeah, I just wanted to mention something quickly after we cover this story. Let me just make a quick note of this here.
Yeah, we're cruising through news tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and with the poll. Just make a quick note of that as in post, and we'll fix it in post.
I put it up visually, so I should be able to figure it out. Let's just.
Yeah, okay. All right, the Avengers. Everybody's wondering what's going down.
What the hell's going on with it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. It looks like you're not gonna be missing a whole lot if you
or you can go in like way near the end. Like the last 45 minutes.
You know, you drop your kid off and want to see Avengers again, you go pick them up, you walk in, hey, okay. So
ending scenes.
Oh, Matt was talking about the just real quick, the Toy Story / Child's Play posters.
Okay.
But they ain't gonna sue. Yeah, they can. It's parody, and they made them look different enough.
I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, they were funny for like the first two, then it got really sad.
Okay, well, anyway.
And the pig one really bothered me because Don Rickles died just before they started production. So I was like, yeah.
So, all right. Well, anyway, let's get to this story. Everybody's wondering what's going to be the new footage in the re-release of Endgame. Well, not a whole lot. With $2.7 billion ticket sales, this comes from BGR.com. What is BGR? Do we like them? We must. Avatar has been the undisputed king of the box office for almost a decade. No other movies come close, although many have tried. That is until Avengers
Endgame. That's what I meant, Matt. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah. That was until Avengers Endgame was released nearly 2 months ago. The film needed just 2 weeks to hit the $2 billion mark after a monster opening weekend that topped $1 billion in sales. But will it be able to steal Avatar's crown? As it stands now, Endgame is at $2.744 billion. That's $45 million separating it from James Cameron's blockbuster. So it might be a tough task were it not for the upcoming re-release. Whatever it takes, am I right? Earlier this week,
we brought it up that they had to re-release Avatar to get it where it was too. So,
yeah. Well, anyway, it continues. Earlier this week, Marvel confirmed that the relaunch of the film will be with never-before-seen footage. That move should drum up enough excitement to give the movie a huge boost at the box office. We are doing that, said Marvel boss Kevin Feige when asked about a possible re-release. I don't know if it's been announced, and I don't know how much. Yeah, we're doing that next weekend. Whose decision was this?
Why? You know, if they were just gonna re-release it like a month after, I would have just waited and watched it now. This is just shitty. This is just like extortion.
Yes and no. Like I said, I get where some of the animosity is coming from, but I'm sick and tired of seeing these pro Avatar articles over it because it's like I said, they had to re-release Avatar to get it where it was. Who cares? At least, if somebody's that big of a fan and they want to go see it with the extra few minutes, that's great. Otherwise, did it say or does it say if it's going to be on the Blu-ray anyway?
It doesn't say about that, but
I'm sure it will.
It will be.
Well,
I'm
no, they'll
sure.
release the theatrical and then they'll release the update, the extended, because
Another
they'll try and sell it to you
Maybe, but
twice.
Disney has never re-released any of the Marvel movies to date.
No,
Okay.
but I
Version that's
kind
out
of
there, other
respect,
than the covers, is the same. What was that, Mary?
I kind of respect this move. I both like pay homage to the sort of genius maneuver that this is, and both am horrified at it at the same time. Like, it's brilliant and it should put them over the top, right? And it's not like Avatar hasn't had multiple releases of its movie as well. So, I mean, it's a month later, so it's sort of ridiculous. But
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe wait a year or something. Like,
Well,
at the
okay.
same
Well,
time, it's hard to blame them. It's still
let's
on the
let's
big screen.
let's get to the meat of this, okay? But how
Before we
much
do,
new
we got a
movie?
big super chat.
Dang.
Yeah. Damn, son. Demon Mouse. Demon Mouse. First time supporting you live. Keep it up. Thank you very much,
thank
sir.
you. I should probably
Can we
jiggle
all-
for that.
Yes, you should.
All
I
right, let
don't
me get the
think
camera
they
on.
can see. No.
Oh yeah, because he's screen sharing.
I put you on main here. I'll take it off.
Okay,
Mary.
put me on main. I gotta put my hair down. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm not even in a jiggle shirt. This is Casual
We need
Friday.
See, we need a like music for this or something.
The jiggle cam.
We've
Yeah,
done jiggles.
that's not right.
I love
And
that.
Rob just came.
No, we need some like
The
that.
foreign music.
Or, yeah, porn music would be great.
Well, okay. Well, let's
If we
continue.
got
On.
like a kick stinger we could use, that'd be awesome.
Let's continue on with this. Okay, is it worth paying to see the movie again to watch those new scenes? As someone who's seen Endgame in theaters a bunch of times already, I'll say that any re-release would make me want to watch it again. Okay, you're a sad human being. Not not everyone will feel the same way without knowing more about the new footage that's coming. Phrasing, but we have some good news on that front. If you're wondering how much new content you'll get from the new Endgame version, we might be able to help. You're in for, okay, drum roll.
I don't have a drum roll.
I have a drum roll.
I thought you were waiting.
6 more minutes of Avengers 4 action. Although we have no idea what those 4 minutes, what those minutes will deliver. Well, we actually have early early crowd reaction.
See, it's great if you want to see it again, but I'm kind of tired of this. Like for the past 20 years almost, they've been doing. Oh yeah, you'll have the version in the theater, and then they'll just have like a longer, more extended version on the DVD. So I stopped going to the theater on movies because I knew they were just going to re-release it with more stuff later, right? And then now they're just re-releasing it a month later with 4 more minutes. Like, you couldn't have just left those 4 minutes in. It's like,
I know.
4 minutes. Why would you take it?
As long as they're on the Blu-ray, then I'd be like, there's no real sense in it. But I don't know, maybe not. But then again, it's kind of cheap in a way. I get where Mecca's coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, at least they're adding something to it, not just re-releasing the movie like they've done with all the Marvel movies before that.
Well, anyway, I mean, but this is when you haven't even gotten to the best part. Okay, the information comes directly from the theater chain Cinemark via comicbook.com, which updated the runtime for Endgame version 2 from 182 minutes to 188 minutes. Okay, here we go. The scenes will be added at the end of the movie, according to Feige. So they're not adding anything relating to the story. Not that we expected any changes for the plot. It's not an extended cut, but there will be a version going into theaters with a bit of a marketing push with a few new things at the end of the movie. Feige told Screen Rant. Garbage to your website.
It might be Spider-Man stuff then, like I said.
Yeah.
Maybe. Might be an end credit scene. Who knows? If you stay and watch the movie after the credits, there'll be a deleted scene, a little tribute, and a few surprises, which will be next weekend. So... end credit scene, maybe the cast taking a bow.
Mecca's
like
right. It'll probably wind up on YouTube before long.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, it'll be on YouTube like the day that's in the theaters. And of course they'll strike it and take that channel down or whatever, and then
Well, sometimes, like say Monday, they might drop it on the Marvel actual
Yeah,
YouTube. For
that's true too. That's true too. They might actually just drop.
Oh, Sadie.
Get him,
And
Sadie.
Sadie wants to watch it too.
All right. Well, okay. I haven't got much more to say about this, but other than
Yeah, you had one other thing you wanted to talk about, Rob. But before we do that, we want to remind everybody that in an hour and 20 minutes, right, is when Shenanigans starts.
10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central.
Mhm.
You can hop on over to my channel and come check out Shenanigans. It is a shooting star stream, and it means once it's over, it's gone. You can't catch it unless, of course, you are a patron of mine over on Patreon, in which case you will still be able to view it. But yeah, it is a sort of variety comedy show, and yeah, we have a lot of fun over there, and we're going to be playing some new games tonight.
It's improv.
Very fun.
Yeah, Rob and I will be there too.
Mhm.
I'll do my
So-
best not to ruin it, like I always do.
Oh, you never ruin anything. Everything way
I
better.
ruin everything.
Hey, maybe I'll get to do my my fairy godfather character again.
Bust it out.
Okay. Well, this is the next story I want to do is something that interests me. We don't get to talk a lot of music, and Mecca, this will pique your interest as well.
Music?
Um,
Is this gonna?
yeah,
Is this a porn podcast?
no, well, no, it's a music slash. Okay. Now, Mecca, didn't you used to own a Dean guitar?
No, I wanted one. That's
Okay.
the new V that I want. The Dean Michael Schenker Flying V.
Okay. Well, Gibson is suing Dean Guitars over trademark infringement.
I believe it.
Yeah. Gibson follows through on a video threat. Okay, Gibson released this bizarre video about playing authentic, about all guitars being that don't have the Gibson logo being counterfeit, and they said something about if you're in a movie or a television show and you don't put the a piece of tape over the logo. Oh, because you're violating our trademark. No, that's not violating your trademark. That means we haven't paid for the product placement. But there's this, like I said, there's this bizarre video on YouTube and on Twitter. I'm like, what the hell is this about? I like Gibson guitars, and I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So anyway, update: Armadillo Enterprises has responded to the news of a suit in a letter to the company's dealers, strongly refuting the claims made in Gibson's complaint. Armadillo's CEO Evan Rubinson describes the suit as entirely baseless and says, "We will vigorously defend ourselves and seek to cancel Gibson's alleged trademark registrations," while also claiming, "We respect and value the intellectual property rights of others, but some things are just too common and basic for one company to claim as their own property." The original story is Gibson Brands Incorporated has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against parent company of Dean Guitars and Luna Guitars in a Texas court. The guitar giant is alleging trademark infringement, trademark counterfeiting, unfair competition, and trademark dilution on the part of Florida-based Armadillo Distribution Enterprises Incorporated. Among other allegations, Gibson is accusing Armadillo, which owns drum maker D-Drum, of running afoul of 7 of its trademarks. These include the body shape and design of the Flying V, Explorer, ES, and the SG, as well as the Dove wing headstock and the Hummingbird name and the Modern trademark. The news of this, well, Hummingbird it's not really a trade. Hummingbird's already the name of something, so I don't see how you copyright that. The news of this suit comes hot on the heels of Gibson's director of brand experience, Mark Agnesi. Well, whatever it is. Discussing trademark infringement in a YouTube video uploaded by Gibson last week. In the video, Agnesi cautioned other guitar builders, "You have been warned. We're looking out, and we're here to protect. We're looking out, and we're here to protect our iconic legacy. Your iconic legacy has gone to shit over the last 10 years. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll talk a little bit more about that. The video caused a wave of negative reactions from the online guitar community, leading to the clip being quickly pulled from YouTube. It seems as though Gibson is ready to back up those strong words with action. The suit was filed in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Texas in May. but amended on June 6th, 2019, a week before Agnesi's video was pulled. What's striking is the timing of the suit, as these Dean guitars have been in the market for decades. Dean Guitars was founded by luthier Dean Zielinski in 1977, and his take on the Flying V and Explorer, the V and Z, have been in the Dean catalog ever since. The V even celebrated its 30th birthday with a special anniversary model in 2007. Over the years, Dean Guitars has been popular with rock players from Leslie West to Dimebag Darrell, while the V has become closely associated with Michael Schenker, and the Z famously clad in wool for ZZ Top's Legs video. But Gibson apparently shifted its position on these guitars as the angular models hit their 40th birthdays, which also coincided with the passing of Armadillo's founder, Elliot Rubinson, in February 2017. This latest suit notes that Gibson had sent a cease and desist letter in October 2017 when the Nashville company was still under its previous management. However, no further action against Armadillo was taken during the former CEO Henry Jeskowicz's tenure. All right, it keeps going on. You can read the whole article at guitar.com. Hold on. This notable. Let me just finish this last part. This is notable because not only is it a more serious accusation than trademark infringement, the penalties if the court finds against Armadillo are also much greater. Gibson is seeking damages comprising Armadillo's profits, comprising of Armadillo's profits. Damages sustained by Gibson and the cost of the action, as well as the former two amounts, to be trebled or otherwise multiplied to the extent permitted by statute, according to official court documents. Alternatively, Gibson can pursue statutory damages of up to and including $14 million, $2 million for each of the 7 mentioned filings. Gibson has requested a jury trial to resolve the case. Guitar.com has been approached by both Armadillo Enterprises and Gibson brands for comment. Okay, here's the thing. Henry Jeskowitz was famously litigious, the former CEO of the Gibson brand. I'm a big Gibson player. I like Gibson guitars. I make no apologies for that. They had some great models, but unfortunately their quality has gone to shit over the last about 10 years or so. They tried a lot of stupid things. They tried the robot tuners, which a lot of people just pulled off and installed Grovers or right on top of them. They tried how many freaking models, boutique models do you have to? Nobody was going to pay $6,000 for a limited edition. Okay, they got so far away from what the core business was, and they tried to get into consumer electronics. They tried to get into recording electronics. Tried to get into electronic music. A lot of it failed. Say what you want about Norland, the old Norland Enterprises days. At least they understood where their bread was buttered. And this whole thing about copyright infringement, I mean, you got to know somebody's going to come along and do it better than you at some point. I mean, Paul Reed Smith pretty much it was just all Gibson designs, and they just changed the body a little bit.
Yeah, and those are like the best guitars.
Yeah, well, I'm not crazy about them. But,
I like them, but I mean, I would never probably buy them because they're so expensive too.
Well, to me, they were. See, even at the time, Paul Reed Smith were kind of overpriced, and you would see them at guitar shows everywhere. Somebody told me that they had overbuilt, and all these dealers they'd oversold to dealers, and so all these dealers were stuck with them. They couldn't move them, so they would just every chance they got, you'd see all these Paul Reed Smiths at these shows, tables like with dozens of them. And it was a weird thing. But one of the whole things is that Gibson, listen to me, okay? Right here, buddy. Right here, guys. Come on. Okay. You need to get back to your core business. Okay. You don't need a specialty instrument for every day of the week. You just need a few models, okay, the few core models, and maybe a couple limited editions. And suing people is not going to change it. You have to win back the goodwill of your customers, and you need to do that by giving them good quality stuff, which you have been doing. There were guitars being featured in their brochures that were chipped. Have you ever seen that? They took the $4,000 instrument was chipped.
That's bullshit.
I don't understand. They chipped it as in like there was a chip on it, or they inserted a
No.
chip into
Yeah, it's like it's probably got a chip on it. Yeah,
Damage. Hold on. Gear news. Here we go. Hold on.
Like damage, yeah.
yeah, damaged.
Oh, okay.
Damage. You think you'd want a pristine copy? You know.
If I'm paying
For,
that kind of money, yeah, shit.
No shit for that. Yeah, exactly. For that kind of dough. That's bullshit.
Here it is. Hold on.
Is my mic too
Let
loud?
me.
It is.
No, it's. I don't think it's. I don't think so. Let me screen share this. Okay, I just pulled it up. This better not be porn. So. There we go.
But what if it
me
was
see.
porn just once?
With Rob, it's probably
No.
quicksand porn.
What does that even mean?
Look, see the right there.
Oh
See the,
no.
and that's a $4,800 instrument.
Yeah,
Wow.
How did that even? How nobody noticed that?
That's huge.
Yeah, that's something you would
see, I
end up
wouldn't.
in the dump.
Yeah, that I wouldn't buy it if it was that damaged without like a serious like. You got to discount that like half price.
Yeah, I was gonna say like half that sucker.
Mhm.
And honestly, even then, you've still got a guitar with a giant chip in it.
Mhm.
Well, even let's just. But okay, the models that would end up in the showrooms probably didn't have that blemish on it. But at the same time, that's representative of your brand. That's you
That's
guys
the one
don't
they
care.
took a picture of.
Yeah. What did you? I mean, like I said, you're asking for top dollar. It should be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt. Wow, that is despicable. They can just sell it as a relic? Yeah, Wagyu knows his instruments. Yeah, like I said, and I'm gonna bore people with a bunch of gear talk. And Mecca knows, and Mecca is a musician, so she knows this. All you need, you have to win back your core fan base, and you have to win back your core customers, and you do that by giving them better quality stuff. Rickenbacker did this actually a few years ago. Okay. Who said that?
It was you. I think it was just a little feedback.
Okay. All right. But like I said, Rickenbacker did this a number of years ago. They stopped producing. They had to stay. They made a decision to stay in California. It's costing them more money. They make fewer instruments. They're harder to get, but the quality is still the same. All Gibson needs to do is make. Pardon me. All they need to do is make the Les Paul, to make the SG, the ES models, the acoustics, and maybe some specialty models every once in a while.
Yeah, they have too many. If you watch like on like Anderton's music or something, every year they're like, oh, here's all the latest different Gibsons, and I'm like, yeah, they're all great. Why so many to like? I would be like, you know what? There's 20,000 to choose from. I'm gonna go with the one with the prettiest paint job, or something over here that's like half the price. Because like I'm not that level of musician where I'm gonna be even able to. And I think a lot of people are not that level of musician where they're really going to be able to like. You know, the Gibson like Gibson Les Paul or something is one of those sort of bucket list guitars, right? It's one of those guitars that you get as your, you know, your best one, right?
Yeah, it's a bucket list. It's on your bucket list. You're gonna steal mine, isn't it?
Of course.
But anyway, But one of the things is though that like I said, you need the core model. Don't, and you're suing people. You gain market share by producing a better product than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dean guitars are better, and Schecter is actually making some good models too now.
If I were buying, like, if I'm buying an electric guitar, a Gibson is not on my list. Dean and Schecter are on my short lists. Dean is probably because I want another Flying V, and they make the best ones right now in my price range with my skill level, and you know. But yeah, I like them. I like them a lot. Now I'm like really regretting I don't find a black and red Flying V now anymore. They sold them all. I should have bought it last year when I had money. Oh well. Maybe next year.
But one of the other things is too, like I said, they did all this stuff with the robot tuners, and they did all the wrong things. And now they have to win back not win back. They have to earn back their customer base. Wagyu, Schecter, Japan are interesting. Pretty segregated product line to the international Schecter. Yeah, like I said. But the other thing too is, like I said, you can it's gotten to the point now. Even if you buy something that's sort of lower end, even the lower end stuff is nice.
Mhm.
And back when I bought my Les Paul, everything you could walk into a guitar store with $500 and you could pretty
Get
much
something
buy.
good.
Yeah, you could buy anything you wanted.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, even your low end, like even your $200 guitars now are better than or about at your like $500 level 20 years ago.
Yeah. Look at your Gretsch electromatic line.
Look at my LTD. It's wonderful. And I paid like $180 after shipping. It was slightly used, barely used. I've got an extra set of pickups I need to put on one of these days.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You can always upgrade them.
And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good, comfortable guitar. I think for me, like, I didn't want a lot of the fuss and a lot of the bells and whistles because I'm not at that skill level anyway. Just give me something that I can do rhythm with. It doesn't even have a whammy bar. And I like it. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Matt Weiss says, without Les Paul, would Gibson even be where it is today? No, probably not.
Well, and Les Paul himself liked Epiphone, right?
Well, no, Epiphone was a different. It was a separate company.
Yeah, I know, but he had like Les Paul himself had played Epiphones.
Oh yeah,
and I think Gibson had gone to him and.
Well, the story is that he was playing jazz. He had disguised a solid body with two huge wings that made it look like a hollow body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he would just remove, and it showed it. He would remove it and remove the two big, pieces on there, and it was just like a log. It was just like a whole. That's what he called it, the log. And nobody was sold on the idea of a solid body guitar at the time. What the heck is that? So
Red Syrup says, "Don't go electric. Acoustic sounds better." I like acoustic. Like if I'm going to spend top dollar on a guitar, I'm gonna get like a big full size Martin Dreadnought. I'll get because I love my Martins. They are cheapo Martins. I'm not gonna deny that they're made in Mexico. But they're still Martins and they still sound wonderful. But yeah.
Well, the next thing I been wanting to get an SG for a long time, but I would love to get a I would love to get a Rickenbacker 330.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, I had a chance to buy a 12-string Rickenbacker 360 years ago, but it was like, unless I'm going to be in a Birds cover band, I'm like, I don't have all the use for this.
Oh God, I love 12 strings though.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Birds fan too.
Oh yeah, there you go. All right. Well, anyway, I've talked enough about that. So it is coming up on 9:00. We have 1 hour to shenanigans. Do we have anything else to cover, or?
Well, there was Macaulay Culkin as the Joker, but he's not going to be. It's just a Cinema Blends fan theory or something.
Yeah, Cinema Bland.
Yeah, but it'd be cool. I'd like Macaulay Culkin to be the Joker.
Well, speaking of music a second, there was a follow-up article that came out about that Universal fire we discussed.
Okay, let me just make a quick note of that, okay?
Yeah, and basically all the article was saying was that none of these artists are really going to be able to sue anybody because Universal own the masters, so you can't sue somebody own already. But other than just the total lack of any empathy or sympathy or any kind of seeming to give a shit on Universal's part, I just happened to pull out my very best of Buddy Holly and the Crickets. It's a 3-disc set. This is actually an import, but the music all comes from the same places. I just noticed how on here it says carefully remastered on 3 CDs. It's like, that's bullshit because this came out in 2014. So maybe remastered, but it's from some older master. It's not from any new. But that was what kind of stuck out to me is it doesn't say remastered from the original analog tapes or anything like that. It just says carefully remastered. That's all it says. Doesn't even say digitally remastered. Doesn't say anything.
Yeah, they may have another copy of the masters. They may have loaded the masters into Pro Tools by the time before the fire. And that was well after.
The thing is, I read up a little bit more on it, and they lost a lot of the multi-track digital masters too in this fire, I guess. I mean, hopefully a lot of people had some of those backed up, but that's still not going to make up for future mastering processes that we don't know anything about yet that could be 10 times better than anything we have today.
Mhm.
You know, and other things. There could be many, like, let's just say if they didn't happen to master the multi-track masters on a lot of, like, or put them on in digital like that, in actual multi-tracks, then you can't get to them again like that. All you have is whatever the two, stereo, whatever latest stereo track master or mono track master you had made at the time. That's it.
And we got a comment actually about that. It says, well, digital is king. I'm like, digital is the best. I'm like, but yeah, okay. There was no digital in 1957. Okay, that's the thing. These are irreplaceable. You only get one shot at this.
It's like having the negatives, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I know the argument you're talking about, and that, and that caused me to go a little deeper into this too, just on my own. Besides that, and that was what really stuck out to me. And the reason they started finding out about this, and this to me is kind of the trump card, is a lot of these living artists and artists who do like the archiving for some of these artists went to try and get the master tapes so they could get outtakes and songs that were never finished or never released, and they couldn't get them because they are gone. Period. It's not like they can't get them because, Universal's not going to let them have them. They can't have them, which right there tells you they did not back these up properly. And I can't remember whose video it was or what article I read now, because I read and watched so many videos, and I apologize. But somebody had brought up how they had talked to somebody or whatever that works in a little podunk little like insurance company in a little town. And even they spent a buttload of money on this fire safe proof room for all their insurance papers. And they can't believe that somebody like Universal wouldn't have just ponied up a little bit of money to have a fire safe proof room for this shit.
It's because they don't care. I mean, it's because we're in this culture. They probably have these 20-year-old look at who they put in charge of Lucasfilm, Look at who, or she will be eventually, probably. Look at what they keep doing with. Yeah, that's our culture. We have the dumbest, youngest, most inexperienced people in charge of, with the keys to the castle on everything, and that is just the lack of that. That is de-evolution. I mean, in society, we're just getting dumber. We're in idiocracy.
But I think it's sort of like infectious cavalier attitude that everyone has towards everything all the time. Like everything is replaceable, everything is disposable.
Mhm.
And when you hit a point where something really isn't disposable, something isn't replaceable, everyone's super shocked at that moment that, oh, you've actually hit a wall here on this. Maybe you should have thought ahead. Maybe you should have been a little more careful. Maybe you should have been a little more cautious and preserved the things, been actually tried to hold on to something that means something, right? But people don't know how to do that.
Right. Well, like, to me, those masters of those Buddy Holly masters, just those alone, not to mention the hundreds of thousands of other masters that were lost, those to me are just as important as the Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, I'm on.
We still have photographs of the Mona Lisa.
But it's not the same.
That's
the article, and other people have pointed out too that I read was like, yeah, we can have the digital copies now, and like this one guy, then the argument tried to make, the digital now that they have with HD audio is almost, the closest thing we've ever had to analog. Yeah, it's the closest thing we've ever had to capture analog to date. But who's to say we can have something better or something that can even improve it in the future? We don't have that opportunity now, at least for these.
And not even the improving it. What songs that they never grabbed off of the master tapes?
Yeah.
Well, that's my big trump card in the whole argument is it doesn't matter what was saved. It was matter what wasn't saved, period. Because that's the big loss is we never get to hear the outtakes. We never get to hear the things that were lost. Now, I've had some other ones that I know that have had masters lost, and I've checked through and looked through certain things to make sure and see how they're worded or when they came out. And I do have, like, say, for instance, Elton John, some of his were mentioned in that. Now I have his first album, and they do have a lot of demos on there. So some of those important ones were probably, I don't want to put it that way. Some of the more popular ones were probably saved. But as I brought up when we first brought up this original article that came out a few days ago on the show, there's some blues people that or like blues archivists that I'd seen a video about on a news program or something, where they had talked about all these records being the only versions of these available. And I didn't even think about it. And it clicked at me while we were talking that maybe that's why, is because they know that in this fire, all these masters were lost. These people were probably some of the first people to find this out, because there was a ton of classic blues artists and jazz artists and other artists that are, very obscure, that were completely lost, that will never be, known.
Yeah, because you never know, like, what. That's what's so sad to me, because I really collect a lot of obscure and unknown and stuff, especially 60s, and a lot of, there's a lot of bands that, like, okay, this album from the Lemon Drops came off of, like, they recorded it once and it was never released, and it's a band from Chicago or whatever, and there's a lot of that where, like, the master tapes and stuff will be in, like, the band members attic or something, and then their kid will release it and, like, hey, my dad was in a psychedelic band in the 60s, and that's how we're getting a lot of that stuff. What about the stuff before then? That would nobody, people who are forgotten. People are forgotten to time because, they didn't have family, because their stuff was sitting in that universal fucking lock room that wasn't even fireproofed. It's like, that's what pisses me off. It's like, how many like blues and jazz and just music geeks out there will never experience something that is just gone. It is lost to time.
Well, and that's what, and to kind of wrap this up, and I'm sure Rob has something to say about it too, to wrap it up. But, Universal, their whole fucking attitude about this, I guess, is cavalier, is a good way to put it, like Mary said, because it's just like, oh, well, we still pay the artists. We still have released the music. That's not the fucking point. You're totally dancing around the point. And don't tell me they didn't collect a buttload of fucking money on insurance in this, because this is priceless. You can't put a price on this shit.
No.
You can't. And just the negligence that was involved here is ridiculous. I mean, you can't, it would be like somebody, just letting somebody come in and take, a Picasso painting and take it to their house and just willy-nilly throw it in their room somewhere with the rest of their, collection of posters and crap that nobody gives a crap about, and just let it get kicked around and not, actually preserved and cared for, and then somebody find it 50 years later and it's just damaged beyond repair. I mean, this is even worse than that.
Get him, Sadie. Okay, well, I haven't got too much.
I went off on a rant there. I'm sorry, but this just bothers me. Just in my soul. It bothers me that they're just.
Yeah.
It's a
Well, the LOL so random culture now we live in.
I know they don't have any appreciation because everything is disposable. They I'll talk to people who are like, oh, I don't have anything past this date or older than like a year ago on my phone. Like, wow, how do you live in such a narrow, like, little collection of consumption, right? How do you live in such a disposable, where, you listen to a song for like a week and then you're done with it, or watch a movie for a week and then you're done with it? Because that's how these new movies are, because it's like a cultural shift. I've noticed this past 20 years that technology and society has really shifted, and Hollywood and the entertainment industry has not kept up. Music adapted a little quicker by saying, oh, okay, we just gotta produce just shit and just throw it out there for their cell phones for, they'll listen to it 20 times, they'll charge them $1 and then be done with it, right?
Right.
Instead of, and like, the movie industry hasn't caught up to that yet, but no, like, everything is so disposable for people lately.
It's very much getting there. The movie industry's shit costs way too much money for that to be like that. The music industry, it's a little cheaper to produce.
Yes.
Something. Now, and this goes to Rob's heart, I'm sure. And I've seen a lot of my friends do this too, and they'll switch over from CD or whatever to MP3, and they'll just totally toss their physical.
I lost so many of my physical stuff when I moved out.
And then they realize now that things
and
are
I had
getting
to rebuy it.
Now, Rob, tell us what just happened this last week to you with iTunes and shit.
Yeah, my iTunes library. I was just moving my iTunes library from media player to the next. I mean, all of my.
Well, because didn't you tell me that iTunes is shutting down, or it did shut down?
Well, iTunes, they're not going to shut down. They're discontinuing iTunes for Mac. It's going to be split up. It's going to be split up into 3 different programs. Apple Music, Apple Movies, and Apple Apple TV or something. I don't know.
Well,
But it's gonna-
regardless, sorry, I didn't mean to send you. Yeah.
No.
Sorry. No, but the point was is you weren't able to get like most of your shit or some of your shit over there or something like that.
Well, yeah, I was trying to migrate from one media player to another, and it something got buggered up, and the iTunes library sort of vanished from all the music is still there on my hard drive, but iTunes wasn't recognizing it. And I've been trying to say, you know what, I've had enough. I'm gonna try to wean myself off iTunes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't use iTunes.
Videos either, and you were complaining about that, and that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to start realizing, especially when certain things go away with licenses, and they realize whatever it was they backed up something on, if they even backed up anything, could be corrupt or whatever, and you could lose all this shit at any moment, at any time, without any warning. They don't have to give you shit in return either, because I've already seen places where people have complained about movies and stuff they've bought and paid for on like iTunes, and they just disappear. They're like, oh yeah, we lost the license, here's a free rental. That's all they give you in return, is a free rental.
All right, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more. We're gonna have more to say about that in the very near future. But yeah, so the
this is gonna be
and they wonder why people pirate everything.
Oh yeah, why? Yeah,
I mean, that's getting more difficult at the same time, but also that's gonna flare up again too. And look at what that did to the music industry.
Yep. Well, the music industry really. There is good music out there. I just don't trust what like the big music industry companies or any of that is shoveling to us.
And that's what kind of got us to where we are with this conversation is, we started out with Universal, Sony, and who's the other one? They all bought up all the music.
BMG.
Yeah.
No, that's in Universal's.
Sony.
Jesus Christ. Sony, Universal, and that's what I said already, isn't it? Warner Brothers. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, those three companies bought up like almost all of the remaining music. Even like Warner Brothers controls Disney's music now, for instance. But yeah, so that's where we got into this mess in the first place, because Universal is one of these companies that bought up all this music. So they have all this music from all these little companies and all these small companies that don't exist anymore, and all that shit's gone. And not just entire discographies, but entire catalogs from companies were just gone now. They're gone. So yeah, anyway, we went way too long on this. I'm sorry, guys. That was my fault.
All right, well, that's fine, man. We don't get to talk music much about that, but let's wrap it up there, because we got shenanigans in about 45 minutes.
Yes, we do. So head on over to Mary's channel. Someone drop her link in the chat here.
Got it. Right.
Yeah. Sure. Mary, why don't you tell us about shenanigans? What can we expect from shenanigans?
Well, we actually have a few different games we're going to be doing tonight. I don't want to get super into it, but in order to keep it nice and fresh for everyone, we're going to be trying a few different things. And shenanigans is typically an improv show where we take some scenarios and we act out some scenes and we play some games and we drink and we get drunk, and there shall be jiggles tonight on shenanigans. It of course is not everyone's cup of tea, and I totally understand that. If you're easily offended, don't go see shenanigans. If you don't like funny stuff, don't go see shenanigans. If you don't enjoy women in low-cut tops jiggling for super chats, then don't go see shenanigans. But if all those things seem like something you might enjoy, then hey, come on over, click the link, and we will be going live in about 45 minutes. So yeah, I'd like to see you guys over there. We have a lot of fun.
So I'll need to change into a jiggle top, won't I?
Hoogity schmug.
We really need to get you guys a jiggle theme.
Please do.
Yeah, well, I'll work on it. So, yeah.
What's going on? You ever get freaky with that thing or what?
Yes.
All right. And of course, if you like what we do, like, subscribe, click the bell icon, notified of the latest content. Head over to the main channel, like, subscribe, click the bell icon over there for all the latest content. We have a Patreon. If you really like us, that's where you go. Support the show. That's where you go to support the show. I made a rhyme there. And you can get bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, behind the edge making of videos, my 10-minute stand-up set, and more. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. And of course, if you don't have the means to support us on Patreon, we and like you to watch, subscribe, share the videos, because we cannot do this without you. We also have Subscribe Star. That's a new thing. Subscribe Star.
We do. All the links are in the description, especially the link to get us to where?
Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
Oh my.
Man, you guys need to give me a bodyguard to protect me from those Dreckies. Remember that cheerleader who wanted Shatner dead? She's going to be there still.
I can't believe they ain't kicked her ass out of there yet after that whole thing.
I know.
I mean, she even lost. She's even not even or got fired or whatever from that podcast. So.
Yeah, we actually asked the head of security for the convention, and this is what he had to say.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely not a lot to say there. So, not a lot going on there. All right. So anyway, like I said,
you call the phone number again, and Rob just.
Yes.
Oh my.
So anyway, like I said, head over to Patreon. Head over to our GoFundMe for Vegas. We have Subscribestar. We have PayPal, so you can send us money directly. And like as I always say, if you don't have the means to support us, you can click like, subscribe, share with all your friends, because we cannot do this without you. Mecca, tell them about your channel.
I am Mecha Random 42. I'm your favorite YouTube harpy. I complain and rant about things. I jiggle, and I you're going to subscribe to me or else. Pretty much. That's my thing.
Hey now.
And I have Twitch and Twitter and Patreon and Streamlabs for donations and all the things. And I also still have my GoFundMe up too, even though plane tickets paid for, hotel is paid for, and convention tickets are paid for. So.
All right. So yeah, you can help Mecca out. Milk Mecca. I did not mean to say that. But hey, if you are into that sort of thing, and Mecca will allow you to, then hey, that by all means, milk Mecca. Anyhow, Rob, that was not an invitation. Let's wrap this up so we can get ready for some shenanigans.
Well, Mary's got to tell us about her channel, though. Mary, what about your channel?
Yes, please.
I am Mary B. I am the Mistress of Mayhem, disruptor of the narrative, and official Whammon card holder. You can find me over on my channel, Mary Mayhem. It's super easy, barely an inconvenience. Just spell Mary like Christmas, and I'm super easy to find. So yeah, I hope to see you guys over there. We have a lot of fun on my channel.
Yes. That's right. Follow her channel.
Don't you fucking understand?
I don't fucking understand anything, Christian. I need to eat so my sugar gets up so I can actually do shenanigans and not sound like Jabba the fucking Hutt. Thank you very much. We are done. We are done professionally.
Tony doesn't like the Mecha crop. He doesn't like Mecha's riding crop.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's we got about 40 minutes to shenanigans.
Yes, we need to get so Mary can get
something with this hair. So
all right, so we're gonna sign off right now. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Shut up! You had your finger in my ass!
I like big Asian butts, and I cannot lie.
I'm not a loser! I'm Krispy Kreme McDonald's.
I geschmoigered her geflavored with my Gugas.
This is crazy. Go to hell, you mutant offspring of